Jimmy, if a random person walked up to you and said, "Who is Brian Niedermeyer?" what would you say?
I would say he's the guy that got fired at Tennessee for multiple cheating violations.
Okay, now he has a job. Correct me if I'm wrong, Caleb, as a high school coach in Tuscaloosa. Is that right?
Yes, and the interesting part is he was at IMG Academy, which is like I did. So going from IMG Academy to a high school in Tuscaloosa just seems like a massive downgrade for him to a certain degree. But yes, he's now at a high school in Tuscaloosa. Took a new job.
Jimmy, my guess is he's trying to get back in the recruiting circles in the South. That would be my guess. And his show cost should be a close to up. Maybe that's why he's making the move.
Maybe, but I'm not sure if I mean, you're going to have more players recruited out of IMG Academy than you are at Tuscaloosa, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
So what would be the move there unless there's some relationship that led him to move there? Maybe he married somebody that's on the Alabama staff. I don't know. But I'm wondering if that plays a part in that move that has something to do with a personal family situation as opposed to a professional move to get him back into college. I don't know that, but I wonder that.
Is it funny to you that here's a guy that the NCAA has said cannot be around college athletes because of the way he's acted throughout his career, yet he can be around high school athletes that are going to be in the same position as a lot of NIL athletes in college? That just doesn't seem right to me, Jim.
Well, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it's the reason he got busted out of college was because he was cheating, and he was doing things that even now are still not legal. Okay, people look at it and say all these different things that they get, all this money that they're getting, and now it's all legal. It's not all legal. There's certain things you have to do to quote earn the money, and giving people money in Chick-fil-A bags is not a part of that equation. So, with a high school athlete, it's a whole different deal. So I'm okay with that. It's kind of like Jeremy Pruitt. You know, he's now coaching high school football somewhere in Fort Payne, Alabama. So I'm okay with that. I just see that as different from being at the collegiate level.
Fair enough. Caleb? Oh, we lost Caleb. We lost your volume. We lost your volume again. Talk to us, Caleb. I don't know what happened to your volume. It bleeped away for a second, but we'll get you back. Jimmy, as far as Niedermeyer, what do you make of his possibilities for being a college coach again one day of any prominence? I'm not talking about a Southwest Missouri State.
Gosh, I've seen a lot of resurrections that have occurred in the coaching profession. There was a time I wasn't sure whether Steve Sarkisian was going to get into a major college coaching job again after all the stuff he went through at Washington and Southern Cal and showing up drunk at practice and it functions. So I wondered if he had burned that bridge, and here he is, a highly successful head coach at Texas. So do I think that Niedermeyer could end up on a staff at a prominent school in college eventually? Yes. Well, look at Kelvin Sampson. I mean, he had a multi-year show cause. Bruce Pearl, not let's make it clear, Niedermeyer didn't accomplish anything that Bruce Pearl or Sampson accomplished. I get that. But they jumped right back into it and became prominent head coaches. So why couldn't Niedermeyer be a prominent or at least a decent assistant coach at a major school?
What the H brought to you by Boundless Moving, from their 2-hour minimum to turnkey operations where you don't have to touch anything. They moved me. They can move you as well. In East Tennessee, Tennessee's mover, Boundless Moving. Just Google them, ask for Matt, tell him Dave Hooker sent you, and he'll take care of you. No question about it. Boundless Moving, ask for Matt, tell him Dave Hooker sent you. Support our sponsors. That's why we're here. I see what Jimmy's saying, Caleb, but it just seemed like Niedermeyer was in the middle of such a mess that if I'm a coach down the line, I've really got to believe he's changed his tune, because I would be scared the extent of the cheating that took place underneath his watch and Jeremy Pruitt's watch.
Well, let me ask this question about it. Is this about positioning himself for another college job? And Jimmy, maybe you could tell me if I'm reading too much into this, but a couple of years ago, do you guys remember when Carnell Tate committed to Ohio State, a highly touted receiver? Tennessee thought they were in the running for him. He commits to Ohio State. Brian Niedermeyer, who was coaching him at IMG Academy, sent out a tweet that said, "You love to see it." Many Vol fans felt that was a cryptic tweet saying, "Ha ha, he committed to Ohio State over Tennessee." And there have been rumors and reports circulating that he's very vindictive towards Tennessee for what happened and his firing. Could he be going to this high school to try to, I don't know, maybe is he making his moves in high school coaching to try to steer recruits away from Tennessee as much as possible, just out of sheer vindictiveness?
Well, let me say this. How many good players come out of Tuscaloosa that would go to Tennessee? So he doesn't have to steer anybody, right? When's the last time Tennessee got a good player? I think he could have had a more impact, Caleb, doing what you suggest if he were at IMG Academy, which is more of an open book as far as where players are going to go. I mean, if you're in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and you're any good, you're going to go to Alabama, probably. So I think his influence could have had a greater impact at IMG Academy than it will in Tuscaloosa.
Interesting. Stephanie looks like a step down, Caleb.
Well, then could this be a
But surely, Caleb, he's not. His revenge against Tennessee guys can't be the one motivation he has in his career, right?
Okay, let me throw another conspiracy at you guys. Brian Niedermeyer, who has a lot of high school ties and steers recruits to different ways and things like that, was Alabama behind this hire because they're worried they're going to start losing Tuscaloosa high school kids in high school in Tuscaloosa to other places under Kalen DeBoer? And did they make a call to Plainview High School and say, hey, or whichever high school it is, hey, we need you guys to hire this guy to help keep our kids in state? Are they worried that they're going to start losing kids out of Tuscaloosa under Kalen DeBoer?
No. I'll compare that to Derek Dooley not letting Aaron Douglas transfer to Duke because he was afraid he's going to lose players to Duke.
I remember that.
Which I told him was one of the stupidest things. I said, if you can't beat Duke, you don't need to be coaching at Tennessee. And a year later, he wasn't. So, yeah, I don't see that as a likelihood.
No, I remember that as well. Okay, let me throw something else at you because I think we've thrown about 15 conspiracies at you. But I think this one's actually pretty good, and it's brought to you by Varner Ford in Clinton, as is Jimmy Hyams' appearance.
59,829, 24 Ford Maverick all-wheel drive, 28,540, 24 Ford Explorer XLT four-wheel drive, 49,996. Local you trust, experience you can afford. Ray Varner Ford, your East Tennessee Ford dealership.
Okay, Jimmy, would you be stunned if Alabama placed him nearby because they know the show cause is going up and he was having a lot of success as a recruiter? Maybe Alabama has plans to make a run at him as an assistant coach in a couple of years. Would that stun you, or is that too conspiracy laden?
I think there's a greater probability of that than him steering recruits in the Tuscaloosa area away from Tennessee. Again, I go back to this. I wonder what his family connections are. I think there's something there that has led him to get into Alabama. Not sure what it is, but I think that probably has more to do with it than some of our conspiracy theories. I would need to do more homework on that, but I think this is a family or a personal move as much as anything for Niedermeyer.
Interesting.